Good evening, everyone, and happy Monday. As you can see, I am currently in the construction zone that will be known as the Camper Cave or the official Phantom Sports Network studios. I decided that today to start getting some news off, give you all some updates about the future of the Phantom Sports Network. So I present to you the Phantom Sports Network State of the Network. My name is Tyler Smith, the President and Regional Sports Director of the Phantom Sports Network. We're almost a full year into the Phantom Sports Network and covering this 540 region and the wonderful, wonderful sports scene that is thriving daily around here. And I just wanted to get onto a live stream, onto a live broadcast before we head into the big weekend that we have ahead of us, starting to test some equipment out, making sure that everything is running like it's supposed to, working on some of the streams, got some announcements coming up. But mainly, I kind of wanted to recap the year that has been behind us. We got about 2 more months until what will be, I consider, the first year of the Phantom Sports Network version 2 since we rebranded and directed our focus to the 540 and to this region. But I kind of wanted to just get on here and I just kind of wanted to recap these past 10 months and all of the kind of experiences that the Phantom Sports Network has made, because it really has been a very, very good 10 months, despite sometimes I feel like we're not doing enough. Right here on my notes, I see that we have been doing a lot this year. High school coverage, high school sports coverage. We have such a bright high school sports scene here in the Roanoke Valley and then in all of the surrounding areas in the whole region of the 540. The high school sports scene is very, very bright around here. Lots of future college athletes from every single division of college ball that you could think of come from the 540, come from these local high schools. Their journeys start here. Luckily, this past year, we were able to cover some of this high school action, some of these high school sports, and put a focus on things like high school football. With our playoff road trip that we took during the fall, got to cover a handful of 540 football teams. Also, things like Fantom Hardwood Travels. I was able to get out in the earlier months of January, February, hit the road and cover some high school basketball. Something that honestly I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this year or not, but I am super, super glad that I was able to get onto the road for that Fantom Hardwood Travels and cover the bright talent that is the basketball teams around this region. Northside, shout out Northside. They just won back-to-back Class 3 state championships. So huge, huge success for them. And then all of the other programs around this region just taking monumental jumps. A lot of younger talent looking to just continue their greatness, continue paving their way to a college of their choice, because I'm telling you, a lot of colleges will be keeping their eyes on this region. Some more things that we've kind of done throughout over this past year. When it comes to, I guess, high school coverage, we also touched on a little bit of college coverage as well, with Hokiology, getting to cover Virginia Tech and all of the great athletics that the Virginia Tech Hokies got going on. And then we also did some local pro coverage as well, covering the Rail Yard Dogs. We introduced some new things this year, the Roanoke Rail Yard wrap-up, the post-game show of the Rail Yard Dog games that we cover, and then we also had something called the Dirty Dogs for the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs. They are about to start playoffs here very, very soon, only a couple weeks left in the regular season. So I'm looking forward to getting back onto playoff hockey, covering the rest of this regular season for the Dogs, and then putting out whatever content we possibly can. Some other things that we have kind of done this year and got to experience is, as I mentioned, the college stuff. We were able to cover the NCAA Division III Football National Championship at Salem High School, the Stag Bowl, the 50th anniversary Stag Bowl, possibly one of the last Stag Bowls that are going to be held in Salem, Virginia. So that was a very exciting experience, and I was very, very grateful to be able to have that opportunity. So we've done stuff this year that I'm very grateful of. We've expanded into the region. We've expanded our content throughout, media opportunities and different projects, such as schools and departments like North Cross. We're getting very involved with the North Cross Athletic Department, and I look to continue to get very involved with the North Cross Athletic Department, their football team, the rest of their sports. We covered some basketball on the playoff, or the hardwood travels, and we look to continue to doing some stuff with them. I just want to make sure that the stream is going good. I don't want to cut off real fast, so I'm going to pop off a screen real quick just to check the computer, and then I'll be right back. So I think I fixed the issue there. We had some connection issues on the YouTube side. So if the YouTube viewers were experiencing trouble during their stream, I apologize about that. Like I mentioned earlier, we're still trying to make sure that this equipment's going to run down here. We haven't been in the construction zone of the studio in quite some time. So as I get everything set back up, as we kind of restart here, I just want to dive back into recapping these last 10 months and the growth that this brand has had. We've done some things such as the high school football and the high school basketball road trip, the local pro coverage with the Rail Yard Dogs, the college coverage with the NCAA Division III National Championship. And then we've also been able to gladly grow our brand throughout the region with website development. We've grown our website live streams like we're experiencing today on the website, merchandise sales, and just the overall foundational process of our first ever weekly newsletter, which is going to be something very, very special that I am super excited about. Something that we've all been building on, something that I'm grateful to have the opportunity to continue doing. And I'm kind of got that website thing got me thrown off, but hopefully everything is running well again. As I mentioned, we're kind of test streaming slash press conferencing this whole state of the network as I sit up here and kind of just run through and give the focus points of this past 10 months and what all we've been able to accomplish. I think the biggest thing is that we've grown through social media a lot, and I ran some numbers. The Fantom Sports Network totaled over 2 million impressions, so that means our content was seen by 2 million different people over 2 million different times, however you want to see that. I believe it's seen over 2 million different times around this region by different people throughout all of our social media platforms. So that's a big building point for our brand in year one to be able to grab 2 million, over 2 million impressions throughout all of our social media content. And we still haven't touched a bit of live production. We're just now getting ready to get onto that track. As you see behind me, I'm in the studio that's not fully built yet. So the priorities find themselves elsewhere. But I'm super thankful and super grateful that we've been able to develop and continue building this brand throughout the region and continuing doing it for the region. When I say doing it for the region, I truly mean that, and I'm glad to be able to have something that we can give back in different ways, whether it's exposure for the athletes, covering the sports scene around here, or doing other different things out of our projects like the Wounded Warriors Veterans Day campaign that we held. That was something big and very important for us. The Adam Moore Classic ticket giveaway that we did, that was something big and very important for me to cap off the Fantom Hardwood Travels as a thank you to this region for allowing us to be able to do what we love to do the most, and then a way to give back. I don't want to feel like we're taking from the region, never that. I want to feel like we're always giving back. We're doing this for the region. That's the motto and that's the goal. We also worked together with the Salem High School basketball team, the girls basketball team. They did a shoot-a-thon, so we donated to the varsity team. We pledged 30 cents to every made free throw shot that they did, and I believe they ended up hitting over 700 free throw shots throughout the entire varsity team out of, I believe it was like 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, somewhere around there attempts. So pretty good shooting percentage free throws by the Lady Spartans there. But it's things like that that I'm glad that we're able to do to be able to give back to this region. Because I know that the covering the sports and building the website and building the brand, that's important and all, but to be able to get out on the road and make a bigger impact and create something greater, that's what this all is about. This really, it's a business at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, it's something that I'm truly passionate about. Something that I know the people that I work with are truly passionate about, and something that we're going to continue working together to grow and to take that next step. This brand has taken a lot of steps over the past 5 years, and I'm going to just run through a quick story, give you the background of where all the Fantom Sports Network kind of came from. 5 years ago, about the winter, spring time of 2019, me and a group of 5 friends, I believe it was about 5 of us, Jackson, Shamar, Jaden, Jeremiah, Maxwell, some of those names might ring a bell to some of you, but we decided that our debates in the camper and our arguing over sports and different various topics were honestly entertaining, but at the same time, they were very informative from all the minds that were around and their different knowledges that they possessed. And we decided, why don't we turn all these debates and this prime entertainment that we have between each other into entertainment for the public? Let's create some type of channel, some type of page. So we started a Facebook page called The Camper Crew. We recorded off of our phones. Shamar was the cameraman. He recorded me and Jackson, me and Maxwell, me and various different people. Talk about sports, talk about wrestling, talk about different various things. And that's kind of where the stepping stone of this whole process began. That's where I finally kind of realized where I wanted to go with my career, what I kind of wanted to chase. It was a bumpy road. I decided that college wasn't for me. The college courses weren't for me. They weren't offering the communication courses that I wanted. Didn't really have the type of funds to chase the big stuff either. But I knew that if you wanted something bad enough, you could go and do it. So I started independently studying. I started getting hands-on experience, doing this stuff myself, going down a process, a road of different trial and error experiences. And I'm going to continue with that because we move on to Over the Ropes podcast 5 years ago in the summertime. Kind of moved away from the Camper Crew, had a little fallout there, but we bounced back. We picked up Over the Ropes podcast, and I had an idea. I was like, okay, we're going to create something to cover professional wrestling at the time. If you all know the backtrack of Fantom, and if you all know myself, you all know that professional wrestling was something I was very, very passionate about when it came to this business of sports media, and it was something that I kind of had a goal of introducing a new aspect to, a new way to. It seems like we're having some connection errors again, and I don't want to jump off the stream real quick, but I do see some buffering. So if you all are experiencing that on the YouTube side, I apologize. I'm going to continue to roll through here. Like I said, it's kind of a trial and error experience. I'm hoping that this feed continues to go how I want it to. We're trying to work things out to get a YouTube stream and a website live stream going at the same time, possibly for this weekend. And these are the main tests that we're going to run to make sure that those can happen. So I want to see what kind of quality we get throughout these streams and what we're able to do, how everything's going to turn out heading into this weekend. But when it comes to the Over the Ropes podcast, I had an idea of creating a new way of covering professional wrestling. I wasn't a fan of exactly how it was covered. I wanted to try to bring a more sports aspect to it, try to bring a more serious aspect, and cover it differently than some of the people that were covering it. So I started Over the Ropes podcast. Eventually, Over the Ropes podcast grew into Over the Ropes Sports. In somewhere along the process of covering professional wrestling and continuing college, I ran into some people that I was once familiar with, of course, Jackson and Shamar. And then also met someone new by the name of Patrick. If you all know Patrick, he's a part of what we got going on today. I met him around the time in college when I was like, man, I kind of want to boost this up, take that next step. So we had an idea of starting Over the Ropes Sports. trying to create a media outlet, sports media outlet of our own that covered more than the professional wrestling, that covered more than just the football, that covered a little bit of everything. Patrick was very passionate about baseball, so when he reached out, he explained his passion for baseball. He explained his motive for wanting to work in the sports media world, in the baseball world, in the sports world. And all of us guys, we kind of had that mindset of wanting to be in this world of sports in some way. So we joined up and we said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to establish a sports media outlet of our own called Over the Rope Sports. We're going to create a YouTube channel. We're going to record videos in the library of the college, and we're going to upload them to. We might go live sometimes. I think we ended up started going live again when the pandemic hit. That's kind of what threw a wrench into everything as well as the pandemic. We ended up going on Zoom and starting things up. But somewhere throughout that whole process and the pandemic and Over the Rope Sports continuing to pump out some content, but exactly not staying on perhaps the exact full-time schedule that I wanted it to, we locked in again and we said, hey, listen, we've got to realize that if this is something that we want, I know that I want it. The team knew that they wanted it. We've got to continue chasing it. We've got to continue growing. We've got to continue going up. So it led conversations elsewhere to other people. This is where we bring my guy Moise into the picture. Shout out Moise. If you all know the state of the Fantom Sports Network, we've reached that point. About 3 years ago, over the winter and spring of 2021, we rebranded Over the Rope Sports. Kind of got rid of the Sports Network. Our goal was to create build, maintain a national sports media outlet. Version 1 of the Fantom Sports Network was the idea, and I'm trying to make sure that the stream is going good. I see some stuff going on again. I'm just looking at I'm looking at the computer, looking at the camera, looking at the notes. Got 3 different things going on at once, but like I said, this is a trial and error process conference. Want to be able to give you all the information, give you all the updates, let you all know exactly where we're at. I got some more special announcements that I want to make later on throughout this stream, but as we work through any buffering or any video issues on YouTube or website, feel free to shoot me a message or feel free to tweet at me. Let me know what issues you all are experiencing. That way I know what to look for when these streams end, and I can try to do some work in correcting that process. But we created the Fantom Sports Network with Moise. It was me, Patrick, Jackson, and Moise. We teamed up. We got some of our friends along with us, some guys that we felt like really wanted to jump into the sports media world. Shout out to Mark, shout out to Peckins, shout out to Dree. I mean, Chasing the Chip, Token Boys, Fantom Game Day Live, all of these different shows that we had going on in the Fantom Sports Network truly started this all. And it really cemented and solidified what we had in mind for what we wanted to do. And then, well, a couple years later, we get an opportunity to work with someone that we are close with, someone that I look up to in this business especially, Mr. Johnson of Unrivaled, the camp director of the 540 Unrivaled Camp. Gives us an opportunity to create some camp stream, to create some camp footage. We go out and we're able to live stream last year's Unrivaled Camp at Roanoke College, and that whole experience was something that we all took very seriously and spent a month plus preparing for, getting ready for, working on, and it sort of put in our minds that we had an idea and it was bigger, or I guess in a way bigger than the national aspect, but more centralized. Doing the Unrivaled Camp felt right for us. Covering this region felt right for us. It felt like something that we should be doing, and that's something that we felt like we should continue doing. So me, Jackson, and Patrick, we decided that we were going to take the lead and rebrand the Fantom Sports Network from that national aspect to going to that local aspect. There was a new ownership, new leadership, had some changes here and there, and we decided that we wanted to take things up the next step. We wanted to come together and we wanted to jump up for the region, start our local sports initiative, which is practically just stating that what we are doing this for is for this region, to better the sports scene, better this thriving sports culture in the 540, really shine the light that belongs to be shined on this sports scene because it's truly a special place. I preach that a lot, that the future is bright for this area. But when we're able to cover this area and this area is continuing to able to shine, it truly, truly means a lot. And that's what we knew we wanted to continue. But like I mentioned, I mean, over the 5 years, this whole process hasn't been easy. There's been its ups, there's been its downs, there's been its trials, there's been its errors, there's been the decisions that I've had to make, that the whole team's had to make, that everyone's had to make to really lock in and take that next step in their life and figure out exactly where they want to go, exactly where they're going to be headed. This has been a dream for myself, a 5+ year dream. This has been a 5+ year journey. And I'm very, very grateful for all the experiences that I've had, but I'm also very, very hungry for some more. I look forward to be able to keep growing. I look forward to be able to keep learning in this business, making new connections, reaching out, partnering up, building something special with this brand and the region. It's bigger than just the Fantom Sports Network. It's truly the entire 540. So once again, when I say for the region, I truly mean for the region. And I think that it was important that I kind of gave you all this 5-year backspill, gave you all the story of what all this is. I mean, I'm a construction worker, full-time construction worker. I work construction 40 hours a week, and I come home, and this is my priority second I get off of work. This is the priority when I wake up before I go to work, and the priority when I get off from work until I go to sleep. Building this brand is something that I really take serious, something that I'm dedicated to, but it's also something that I've learned from, and I've learned a lot from being able to do this, and from being a leader, being a, I guess, sportscaster, a live personality. It's really taught me lessons that I'll definitely take, and I realized that, hey, I'm not even 25 yet. I often push myself a lot, and I think that I got to rush, but there's no rushing to be made. Everything's happening for a reason, and I feel like this whole process with the Fantom Sports Network is happening like it's supposed to. It's happening for a reason, and that's kind of what brings us here today. I wanted to give you all that backstory. I wanted to give you all the journey, the story of the Fantom Sports Network, where we all came from, what we all had in mind. That way we can move on into the future. I've been honored and I've been blessed to work with some of the same people for the past 5 years. Jackson, Patrick, those guys have worked by my side for Patrick over 3 years, Jackson the whole 5. And those two guys I consider truly my best friends. Now, with that being said, life unfortunately takes us different directions and moves us in different places and presents different opportunities and allows us to be able to take next steps even though if we don't know where we are. So I felt like it was important to shine a light on everyone that helped me build this so we can take the next step into the future of the Fantom Sports Network. Fortunately for Jackson and Patrick, they found the bigger opportunities and they've gotten some bigger steps that they are looking to take in the future. As they do so, though, they are going to look towards taking more reduced roles with the Fantom Sports Network. I'm sure you all noticed that this past year you haven't seen much of Jackson or Patrick, but they're taking processes and they're taking steps that are going to better them down the line. And I definitely am excited for them to do so. And I'm also excited to be able to keep them around because it's not like they're going and gone forever. Starting this May, they'll be taking some reduced roles under some different titles. Both of them will be serving as regional sports advisors, which will be just practically still working together as a team to make sure that we are hitting our local sports initiative, working together and growing this brand. Jackson, he will be taking the position of our lead sports photographer. If you all know, I'm sure you have throughout some social media posts that have been made, Jackson's very passionate about sports photography and photography in general, and I knew that, and I really wanted to see how much he wanted to do with the photography, and I wanted to continue that opportunity for him. So he's going to stick around, and when he gets the opportunities to continue working with us and fit us this photography into his schedule, he's going to be around a lot more, and our gallery on our website is going to continue to grow with shots by Jackson, and you all will be able to watch Jackson's photography skills go from restarting because he's getting back on the camera just recently, and then it's going to be great here in the future. So I'm really excited to continue working together with Jackson as he looks to capture some of the biggest moments that Fantom can capture for our gallery. As I mentioned, Patrick, he'll serve as the regional sports advisor. We'll all still work together as the team. None of them are going away for good. They'll still do the big projects like the camp. It's just there's going to be some shakeups, and they've got some responsibilities and some bigger opportunities for them that they need to take a step forward to. And I definitely encourage that before I encourage anything else. Not going to hold nobody back from taking that step. And I'm glad that we're able to continue working together where we are and continue chasing the dream and the motive that we have with the Fantom Sports Network. With that being said, though, as we look towards this summer, I will be starting the internship opportunities. The internship program will feature a few positions, writing and production and different things that I have in mind that I feel like we can be beneficial to this region. I know we got a couple colleges around the 540 that I feel like we could be able to work with students interested in working with sports media, and then any seniors that are graduating from high school that is looking to get experience in this sports media world. I feel like we're really going to be able to open up this internship program for the better, and once again, that's the goal, is for the better of this region, providing more opportunities. Those opportunities that I necessarily may not have had coming directly out of high school, going to college, looking for, I guess, the courses at the community college at Virginia Western that unfortunately weren't there. My goal now is to be able to try to chase that, to be able to push that, to try to give something, an outlet here locally in Salem and the Roanoke Valley that people will be able to work with. People will be able to get that hands-on experience in the field like I'm doing and like we've done over the past 5 years. So the internship program is something that I'm going to be very, very passionate about once we start that. But I just want to make sure that we are perfectly in the correct spot to even get that kicked off. We're moving through this press conference. I just kind of wanted to throw a shout out to everyone that supported us, anybody that's watching, anybody that's interested in what we're doing and what we've done over the past 10 months. The next 2 months, it'll be the first full year in covering this region. We've been able to be blessed to have some of the opportunities that we've had. I talked about it at the beginning of the stream, being able to cover things like the NCAA Division III National Championship, being able to go to the Rail Yard Dogs games and capturing content and covering those, being able to go out and highlight the high school sports scene that creates the future athletes that all of you watch on TV every weekend. Very, very special opportunities that we get to do, and it's all because of you that we are able to, so I thank you all so, so much. We're going to continue rolling on with this whole thing. I kind of wanted to give more updates, give more announcements, and then we'll kind of get into what the camp has in mind and what we have in mind for this year's camp towards the end. But as the team shakeup happens, we're also going to have a shakeup of our shows. We're going to lock into 4 flagship brands for the Fantom Sports Network. It's going to be Hockeyology, the 540 Show, the Fantom Sports Show, and Rule the Roost are going to be considered the 4 flagship brands of the Fantom Sports Network. I wasn't comfortable with continuing around the bases, continuing Saucy Sticks without the original namesakes of Patrick and Jackson. Those are their brands. I want to keep them with them. So if they ever decide to come back and run those shows, all power to them. We will definitely do it. But I don't feel comfortable doing it without those guys. So we're going to put those shows on the back burner. We're going to have 4 flagship brands that we're going to focus on. And the hockey coverage, the lacrosse coverage, the baseball, the softball, all of that stuff will be dispersed throughout the 4 flagship brands. No worries. We will still cover that stuff. It's not going away completely. Where are we now? I guess that's kind of the big thing. It's like where do we go? Where does the Fantom Sports Network go from here? I kind of look to take a step back in order to take a step forward. I realize that there's a lot going into this whole process. I realize that this whole process definitely has its job. And you've got to be prepared to go on a daily schedule in this all. I also realized that life would be a lot easier trying to run the business if we got this studio done. And I feel like priority number one is getting this studio done. Well, priority number one is the camp that's this Sunday, but I'll get into that later. But when it comes to outside of that camp this Sunday, this studio is going to be the most beneficial aspect to the Fantom Sports Network. When we could get the office, the studio, somewhere we can produce work comfortably, I think that is going to be huge for our brand. So in a way, I'm going to be sort of hitting the restart button. I'm not going to fully jump away. I'm just going to be putting my time and my efforts into something bigger that's going to be beneficial to the brand down the line, and that's finishing this studio. Um, there's priorities and stuff that I feel like that can hit the back burner. Things like the Fantom Sports Weekly newsletter, things like the live production. That's stuff that I truly want to get on top of, but I can't just yet. I've got to step back and I've got to finish this up. We've got to have the appropriate equipment, the appropriate setup to be able to deliver the content that I truly want to deliver to you all right now. Personally, this whole State of the Network stream, it looks cool. It's nice. I threw some old Fantom logos from last year's camp onto the new camp support sign that me and Jackson made yesterday. I stood up a mic and I decided let's throw some backboards to cover some insulation so it looks a little bit nicer. But it's not ideal. Ideal is this place being fully finished. Ideal is this place being the place that we are able to reach our full potential, and that's what I want to make sure I'm doing. I won't disappear. There's still some projects that I want to focus on. There's still some ideas that I have cooking up. I will be doing social media activity as well throughout this whole period of time. I just want you all to know that there was a little timetable that I kind of had in mind, but I also want you to know that that might be shifted. Fall time is going to be my goal of still getting everything booted up, but the priority is going to be right here in the studio. And I don't want it to seem like we're disappearing, so I want to be able to stay in contact with everybody and let everyone know where we are all at. Because once again, it's kind of just me rolling along on the show, running this whole brand, running this thing. And when I'm fortunate enough to get the help, in which I'm thankful for, I will definitely get more stuff out. But until then, I know that there's some priorities that I've got to take care of and in order for us to continue the success of this brand. Let's see. I think we get to the point that we all wanted to come to now that I've gotten everything out about the past, the journey that the Fantom Sports Network is on, the road that I've gone through with creating this brand, with becoming the president, the regional sports director, the ideas that we had in making all of this. This past, I guess, couple months haven't been the easiest, but at the same time, I've been very, very honored and very, very glad that I've been able to endure them. Because I've learned a lot and we've taken a lot of growth and we've gotten a lot of opportunities. I just want everyone to know where the Fantom Sports Network is building off of, and that's bettering this region, creating something better for this region, leaving something for this region. It's greater than just building the brand, it's for the region, and that's the motto, and we'll always stick to that because the future is so, so bright here, and we are going to continue to shine that light just like we are going to do this Sunday. Before I get into talking about this Sunday's camp stream, once again, if you all are watching, I appreciate it. If you all notice anything with the live streams that could be better, could go better, any issues, let me know, message me, tweet at me, do whatever you can. And make sure you just follow the Fantom Sports Network on all of our social media platforms at Fantom Sports Net. Visit the website, fantomsports.net. Support us however you may see best fit to support us. Because as you support us, it allows us to do what we love to do, and that is support this region. And we look forward to continuing doing that. Lots of opportunities down the line for growth, lots of opportunities for betterment of this brand, and I'm very excited for what the future brings. But in 6 days, we've got a camp. On Sunday, March 17th at Roanoke College, the Unrivaled Prospects Exposure will be holding their third annual Combine and Player Development Camp. We get the honor to broadcast, to live stream, to cover all of this camp once again this year. And we are truly going to bring an exclusive experience that is intended to showcase this region's brightest talent and all of the hard work that they are putting in for their success towards the future. We're putting highlights and highlighting exposure of this brand at a next level this year. Um, Last year we got some experience. This year we've gotten ideas and we're looking to execute. I think that we've gotten a plan that we're able to make this stream a lot better than it was last year. It's been a very, first of all, I just want to stop and say that it's been an honor to be able to work with Process Exposure, to be able to work with Coach Peterson, to be able to work with Mr. Johnson, to be able to work with Coach Martin, the entire team at Process Exposure, over at Unrivaled, looking on to make these camps happen for those athletes around this region that truly deserve that spotlight. This camp's a free camp for these athletes, and that's something that's big when it comes to giving back to this region, making sure that this region is spotlighted, making sure that the eyes are on the 540. So shout out to them, shout out to everything they do, shout out to the hard work that they put in. I know that I'm very fortunate to be able to work together with them to do what we love to do. And I'm also very fortunate that we're going to be able to continue doing just that for every single year that the Unrivaled 540 camp comes to the Roanoke Valley. We will be right there with them, possibly even more down the line. But we will continue this media partnership. I'm very grateful for this media partnership, and I'm very excited to see what will come this Sunday because we've got some ideas. I guess I just want to touch on some things that I have in mind for this year's stream. Last year we only had one camera out, and it was on a tripod. It was on a wire. It was a little difficult to move around like we wanted to. This year we're going to have another camera that should be wirelessly transmitted wirelessly transmitting the video feed from the camera to our setup, our hub. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to put another camera out in the field this year. We're going to run 2 cameras this year on our live stream, and then we'll also have another camera at the home hub for the interviews and all the production assets. We're going to add a more broadcast feel. What I've been telling people over the past week is imagine watching the NFL Combine. That's kind of what we want to bring to all of you. We want to spotlight these athletes and to where you're looking for the next looking right here in the 540, right here at this camp. Going to be a lot of different ways that people are going to be able to interact and watch this year's content on the website, on the YouTube. Just like we're doing now, just like we're testing with, that's what we're going to go with on this year's camp stream. We're also going to be going live on Instagram this year for a one-on-one outside portion. So when we go outside in the afternoon session, we will have an Instagram live going on Instagram at Fantom Sports Network. We'll be capturing a different angle and different aspect of the one-on-one portions. But that's kind of the idea that I wanted to share with you all this year. Later this week, we're probably going to do a test stream where we're going to have more of a laid out and more of a, I guess, exact explanation on what all we've gotten coming your way. But until I get 100% locked in, stapled in, we know it all is going to work like we want it to. I don't want to say too much. Just know that we will be going live at 9 a.m. on Sunday, March 17th. We will be going live on both our YouTube and our website if everything works like we want to go. We are going to bring a different broadcast feel. We are going to spotlight the athletes in this region as best as we can, featuring things like the Fantom Athlete Tracker, and some different aspects that we have in mind, different ideas that we think can enhance the production of this year's camp stream. So it's definitely something that I look forward to doing. The future is bright for this brand. Sunday is going to be very big, so make sure that you all are watching it. Make sure that you're all sharing the content around. Make sure that you're all spreading the word about the future of this region, because we're going to put it on full display come March 17th. 9 a.m. is when we're going to start. We're going to cover the combine, cover the indoor drills, take a lunch break, move our setup outdoors, and then start back up for the outdoor session. And then we'll do an award ceremony as well once we get back inside. So that's kind of the rundown. That's the plans for this year. Once again, I appreciate everyone joining the State of the Network stream. The future of the Fantom Sports Network is bright, but we've got to take a step back before taking a step forward. Studio construction is going to have to be finished up. I thank everyone that supported us along the way so far, and I thank everyone that looks to continue supporting us throughout this entire journey. This is only 2 months away from year one, and I look for this to be year after year after year after year type of thing. So thank you all for the support. Make sure you follow at Fantom Sports Network on all your favorite social media platforms. Make sure you visit the website, www.fantomsports.net. And as always, keep your eye on the region because the future is bright and we do it all for the region. Thank you all very much and have a wonderful Monday. We'll be back sometime this week with another stream, a test stream for the camp. And then on Sunday, we are bringing all the best camp content straight to your screens. Have a great night.